It's the next level.
Hmm? Ah!
What happened?
We don't know. There weren't any witnesses. I can only assume they found out he wasn't one of them. Guess I should have listened to you.
Why are you showing me this? Why did you bring me out here?
What, you mean instead of his wife?
You knew this would happen. You sent him out here because you knew this would happen. You wanted this. You wanted him to die. Why?
Why? You're asking me why? After everything I did to get you here, after everything I've done to keep you here, how can you possibly not understand that you're mine? Take as much time as you need.
Welcome into another episode of We Have to Go Back, Lost Revisited, as we continue on our journey into the fourth season of the series. I'm Ben.
And I'm Kristen. This week we move forward with our discussion of Season 4, Episode 6, The Other Woman.
Couple things just to start off this podcast, this episode with. We hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. This is the first episode we're doing since Thanksgiving, which is fine. I want to give a special shout out to some people. Spotify. I love the look on your face, Kristen. I know the listeners can't see it, but you're like, what are you talking about? Spotify a week or so ago put out their lists of like top songs of 2020, top podcasts of 2020. We had a number of people tag our podcast on Instagram because we popped up in their top 5.
Yay!
So to everybody who tagged us, even if you didn't tag us, if we popped up in your top 5 most listened podcasts, that is amazing. And I just want to say thank you so much. It's so humbling, and it makes us feel great about what we do and why we do this.
Yeah. So. I assume no one's listening. I assume we just hang out every week.
And you know, and I think I do that with every podcast I'm on. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter if I'm guesting on somebody's podcast. I treat it more as in like, this is just a conversation I'm having with some friends, and yeah. That's why it comes across as comfortable and not overly produced or anything like that. So it's one of the reasons why when you're listening to this podcast, we will totally break away for something my cat is doing in the background or whatever. It's just a conversation between two great friends about a show that we love, and that's why I like doing it that way. So to everybody who tagged us, everybody who this podcast appeared in your top 5 or even your number 1, because I had 1 or 2 people even tag us as their most listened to podcast. You have no idea how great that makes us feel, and we can't thank you enough for sticking it out.
Yeah, I am surprised. Spotify is pretty big, so yeah. I know that. You know, I don't listen to Spotify, but I know my husband does. And so, you know, you can listen to basically anything you want. So I appreciate all the listening lists. Yay.
And that's an interesting point too, that I didn't even think about until right now. That's just Spotify. Like there are other ways to listen to this podcast, whether it's through Apple or through Podcast Addict, which is how I listen to my podcasts. Like
I use Overcast, I think it's called.
Okay. But there are other ways that we might be in people's tops, you know. when it comes to those. So again, just thank you so much for listening and continuing and sticking with us. I know we're not on a regular basis, but we try our hardest. And
look, man, it's 2020 and I'm sticking by that. Even next year, it's because I'm going to blame everything on 2020 for the rest of my life.
This year has been, pardon my language, utter shit. It's my anxiety has been at a lifetime high. There's been disease, there's been death, both personally and for the world. It's just been a shitty year. And if listening to us brings you even just a couple moments of escape from that, like, we're happy to be here to do it. This is an escape for us.
Yes.
To do it. We tend to vent to each other a little bit before we even start recording. 1 hour and 13 minutes this time. Yes. I think that might be a record for us at this point. And we talked about everything from like this shitty year to Schitt's Creek, and I love it. I love it so much. So
that's awesome. I love that. Sorry about blowing out anybody's eardrums with my laugh. That was just really funny.
But let's get into this episode. Season 4, episode 6, the other woman. If you don't know already by this point, this is a spoiler full podcast. So you will hear us talk about things that not only have happened on the series, but will still happen in the series. This is a rewatch. So we are going to talk about things that have already happened. So if this is your first time watching through the series, be prepared. We are going to talk about spoilers. There will be spoilers. So, but we got another Juliet centric episode with a lot of Ben mixed into it.
That's so funny that you say that, because as much as this is a Juliet episode, it's also kind of a Ben episode.
Oh, it's totally a Ben episode at the same time.
Yeah. So I mean, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Juliet and Ben's story is so intertwined on the island, and how she got to the island and why she wants to get off the island. And I mean, you really see why she has as much hatred for him as she does, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And the whole time I'm watching this, it wasn't until like the end of the episode where she's walking. Oh, shoot. I just watched the episode like an hour ago. But she's walking at the end and she's talking to Jack, and she says something to him about like, he knows how I feel about you or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, didn't Goodwin die like 6 weeks ago at this point?
Well, it's funny too when you talk about the timeline, because there's another very big thing that happens in this episode that shows the short amount of time that has happened between certain events. And there's the tape that Ben shows John Locke of the security. It's the security footage.
Oh, Red Sox
of Charles Winmore. And it says Red Sox on it. And Ben says, I taped over the game. It wasn't that long ago that Ben had shown Jack that game of the Red Sox.
Right.
So this has had to have happened within a couple of weeks.
And let's also talk about the fact that at the beginning of the season, or at the end of last season, I can't remember, Jack kisses Kate and says, I love you.
That's in the finale of season 3. Yeah.
And in this episode, he kisses Juliet.
Jack's a... Oh, I don't know what the word is. I was going to say player, but he's not a player because he doesn't know how to game.
I know the word.
The worst?
He's not. He's confused and losing his grip on all control.
And it's funny too, because I say it's funny a lot, but you mentioned that he's losing his grasp on control. But when you look at the two people that we consider probably to be the biggest leaders of this group are Jack and John Locke.
Yeah.
And they are the two people who are very much losing their grasp on everything that is happening.
It's funny that you say that, because I actually wrote down a note that I thought was really telling about Locke's mental state right now and how he is just living moment to moment. And that was the fact that he's killing the chickens.
Well, we talked about that a little bit last episode too.
Right. But he's saying he's running out of chickens in this episode. So he's now killed most of the chickens, which means that he's not thinking about anything long term, and he's in panic mode.
And you're right. He's not thinking about anything long term, but this is also somebody who doesn't want to leave this island. Like, that's the one thing he should be doing.
Yeah.
Is that if they plan on staying there and living there forever, you should be planning long term.
But see, that just proves that his desire for power is starting to outweigh his desire for longevity on the island, where I think even last season, that was different.
Yeah. I definitely see that. He is a character who is, I want to say this might be one of the lowest points of John we get. Short of hanging from a rafter. That's definitely
short of Edgar John.
Yeah, exactly.
He's wearing an Edgar suit. I love the way that woman says Edgar. He's wearing an Edgar suit
and water. Wow, I want to know the listener. I'm sure hope the listeners get that reference. It's Edgar suit.
It's an Edgar suit.
God, who references that movie?
I do all the time.
Thank you for that. But yeah, you're right. Short of Edgar Locke, or John Edgar, however you want to say it. But yeah, short of being at the bottom end of a noose, this is the lowest point of John I think we've seen so far.
Yeah,
is that he has no control. He's grasping as hard as he can onto the illusion of control, in which we learned this episode in particular, he doesn't have it. The one man who he thinks he's in control of is the one man who still has control of this situation.
Well, and see, we've been talking about this for a really long time when it comes to John Locke. John Locke is a weak-minded individual. He has continually blamed others for his problems. He doesn't take a lot of responsibility. He has a lot of pride. He doesn't like it when people tell him what he can and can't do. Excuse me.
Don't tell me what I can't do.
Right. He has, and he's easily manipulated. And Ben knows it. I mean, Ben is having fun right now.
Oh, Ben is having a blast right now.
I mean, other than the fact that he's not too sure about the rabbit. Did this have a number on it?
I love that line. Like, that is such a great throwback to to previous seasons when he's diving into the rabbit. And he's like, this didn't have a number on it, did it? Like, I love that line. That was such a great line.
Well, did you notice also that he just ate the vegetables?
No, I didn't even notice that he didn't eat the rabbit.
He just ate the vegetables.
Well, let's not forget too, like, I don't think we've seen it yet because we haven't gotten young Ben yet on this island, but Ben does have a connection to those rabbits.
Yeah.
When he was a child, he didn't have his father. He did have a pet rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those reasons why he did have the connection to the rabbits as he's older, that he's experimenting with when he's playing with, when he was playing with Kate and such with the rabbit. I never noticed that he doesn't eat the rabbit. And now that kind of connects further.
Eats the green beans or whatever they were. Also, he's not much of a cook, because when he took that roast out, that roast looked half raw. I looked at it, I go, that needs to go back in the oven. Like, that's all I could think about. And he's slicing it. I'm like, put it back in the oven.
Well, that could have been another reason why Ben didn't eat it. It just wasn't cooked.
Oh no, this was the different scene, the dinner part.
Oh, the dinner. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, but it could still stand true for the rabbit. Maybe the rabbit just wasn't cooked properly. But still, yeah, Ben is. it's been fun to watch the writers play with who is really in control. They've been toying with it for a while. Is it Locke who's really in control because Ben is a captive? Is this all part of Ben's plan? And it's pretty much, it comes to fruition. Locke has no control. I mean, by the end of this episode, we see Ben casually strolling to his own house, holding clothes, saying like, I'll see you guys at dinner.
See you at dinner.
Yeah. Like, Ben is totally in control. He is still absolutely in control of the situation.
When's the last time he didn't have a beat up face?
Other
than flashbacks.
I was going to say when he was a child, but even that's not true.
I mean, that guy's been hit in the face so many times. He should have brain damage, right?
Well, if there are two things that have been proven true in this episode, it's that one, Ben can take a licking and keep on ticking. And two, Sawyer cannot win a game of anything on this island to save his life. Because he loses to Hurley to horseshoes.
Well, he loses to Hurley almost exclusively.
Yes, he does. And I love it. The one person that Sawyer pokes fun at the most is the one dude that keeps beating him at every game that they play.
But isn't that interesting that Hurley has nothing but really kind of good luck on this island? And it's not even luck. It's just that he's got all the things that are going for him. And he ends up being who he ends up being.
Well, maybe that's part of the spirit of this island. I mean, we do have that whole conversation with John and Ben about when he's revealing that Widmore was the one that it's his people on the freighter, and he gives him like there was that, the moss that healed people. You came to this island, you were able to walk. Rose is cancer free. How many people would come to this island if they knew this about it? Maybe that's it. Like maybe Hurley's bad luck was the thing that was healed by this island. The same way that, John's parallelism was healed. Rose's cancer was healed.
Paralysis,
sorry. Hurley's bad luck is what was healed on this
which
island.
Is interesting because his bad luck was caused by using the numbers that pretty much control the island.
And it's and his bad luck kind of still returns when he gets off the island.
Oh, yeah, it does.
He gets arrested and, from the chase and everything. So
his dad's back.
That's right. His dad. That's right. Yeah, his Hurley's bad luck kind of returns when he gets off the island. So maybe that's just it. The island healed Hurley of his bad luck.
Well, and I think that it also has to do, I mean, not to get like too meta here, but it also, I mean, everybody had that blank slate. You got to see what, if you really blank slated somebody and honest to God gave them a do-over, what people would do with those do-overs, right? Kate became a leader and heroic. Sawyer became a better person. Hurley felt free from his obligations that the money created. Charlie kicked heroin.
Yeah.
Claire became a mother. Jen and Son repaired their marriage. I mean, when you really honestly give somebody a second chance and you can see what people will do with it and if they will squander it or if they won't squander it. And I think a lot of people in today's society think that, oh yeah, everybody deserves a second chance, but nobody ever gets it. Nobody ever gets that past amnesia that people so desperately want.
Yeah.
And I love that
press of the reset button.
Yeah. And I think that if you're going to give somebody another chance, that you need to give them like an island second chance. Like, yeah, okay, we all just arrived at the island. Like nothing else matters at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, now you've changed my mind. Like, I don't know if I ever told this story on the podcast. I think I told you this story before, that one of the first times I ever flew to Colorado to see my sister who was living in Colorado at the time, one of the first things I ever did was when I was sitting in the terminal, I looked around at all the people and I was like, and this is when Lost was still in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I looked around at all the people. I'm like, if this plane went down, who would I want to befriend? Like, who would I want to like form like friendships with? And then when I told my sister that when I got to Colorado, my sister looked at me. She's like, "You're a moron. You were over mainland. You were never going to crash on an island." I'm like, "Oh yeah, good point." But now I'm looking at that situation and like, you know, the way my life is now, so many years later, maybe I would welcome that crash if I knew I was going to survive and get a second chance.
I think a lot of people would. I think that's part of the allure of Lost is these people getting to be the version of themselves that they've always wanted to be, which is them. Yeah. Right? We make compromises our entire life and we keep chipping away at what we want for ourselves to fit into either someone else's life or into your job, into your social situations, your marriage as a parent. You know, you just chip away and you may, and as you keep going and you realize that you've made some compromises here and there, that maybe you've kind of veered off path more than you ever thought that you would. Right. And I think that 2020 is kind of a reflection on that anyways. It's you know, we're kind of seeing what we're made of as people.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of like what Lost is.
We're seeing 2020 is showing us what we're made of ourselves while we're seeing what we're getting a true reveal of what other people are made of. And while we're looking and kind of seeing what we're made of ourselves. And yeah, you're right. It's also an interesting thing to look at too, when you look at Lost as like second chance island. If you're given the opportunity, how many people will actually take it?
Yes.
You know, they're obviously, for the most part, most people who have been on this island have taken the second chance they've been given. You know, you mentioned Charlie kicking heroin, Claire, actually embracing being a mother. The two people who I think are probably in question right now, obviously, are John Locke, because I think John is basically squandering the second chance he's been given. Or it's being revealed, or maybe it's just being revealed that he's using the second chance he's been giving and it's not making him better. It's making him worse than he initially was.
Yeah, maybe. It could also be that he has this idea of what that second chance looks like, and he doesn't want to let that go to see what his second chance really means. I mean, a lot of us will be like, if I had a second chance, I would do this. Okay, well, maybe that's not your path, you know? Yeah. And maybe there's a point that you have to let go of that and just see where it takes you.
Yeah. I think the other person we need to look at too, when it comes to the second chances, and I think he's somebody who, I don't think he's squandered a second chance, but I also don't think he's taken advantage of it yet, is Jack. He is somebody who definitely knows this island is an opportunity and a second chance, because he's the one that's told people that. You know, Kate in particular, like when he said he didn't want to know what she had done because we all are getting a chance to be a different person now. He's the one person who knows this island is a second chance for people, but I don't think he's taken it for himself. And I don't think that's been entirely in his control. I think he's had so much put on his shoulders since he's been there. People adapted him as a leader. They looked at him as a leader. He's had so much responsibility put on him that I don't think he's had an opportunity yet to take advantage of this second chance.
I want to have to think on that, because I think that Jack is kind of an outlier case, like you were saying, but for different reasons, I think. Because you could make the argument that he was given the second chance, that he was given the chance to either be someone else or be the same man that he was, you know, when it came time to operate on Ben.
Okay. Yeah. There's a moment there that he had an opportunity, but there are still moments though that the old Jack shines through. There are definitely moments where that hero complex we've mentioned definitely still kind of comes forward.
Well, and to your point, you know, he also never got the chance to have a do-over or blank slate, because he crashed and immediately had to continue being a doctor. I mean, he was performing, you know, triage since he arrived. mean, he's still kind of doing that.
And then he continued to monitor people.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
still a doctor.
Yeah. He never stopped being a doctor. He never stopped being the man he was. So I think that I think you're right that he maybe didn't even get the opportunity to start over. But that doesn't mean that he can't change.
Oh, I'm not saying that doesn't mean that at all. You and I have been.
No, I'm still waiting for that to happen.
Well, I mean, and you and I have been in complete agreement that the Jack we get at the beginning of this show and the Jack we get at the end of this series are two completely different people.
100%.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Jack would have ever appeared without him leaving the island and coming back. I think he had to leave to realize that he needed to be on the island. Yeah,
that's a good point too. The big changes that Jack goes through haven't really occurred yet.
Yeah.
They're still yet to come. And I think you're right. Putting some more thought into that. I think you're absolutely right. I think he needed to get off of that island to realize what that island's power really was.
Absolutely. 100%.
And then when he realized that he lost, I don't want to say power because it's definitely power. I use power in a different way than when we talk about John wants power to the power of the island. They're two completely different types of power. John Locke wants power is in like leadership, and the power that the island has is more like healing. So it's more like ability and not leadership. So, but you're right. Jack needed to see. It's like you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's what Jack experiences getting off the island.
It's so funny too, because I think that John's dad, Anthony Cooper, being on the island fundamentally changed John. Like the freedom that John had and the open-mindedness that John had before Anthony Cooper was put in front of him in comparison to after Sawyer killed Anthony Cooper. Mm-hmm. It's funny because John Locke has been tormented, I think, by the demons of that. I think he's almost haunted and it's affected him and his demeanor a little bit, like episode by episode. But what's funny is that it's a direct contrast to Sawyer, where he was haunted by his demons until he got to deliver that letter to Anthony Cooper, and he killed Anthony Cooper, and he left there and he was a different person and he felt free. Yeah. I'm so sorry about my throat.
No, it's fine. But I think one of the stark contrasts in that too, and this is going further to your point, is Sawyer got to exercise the demons with his own hand. John had somebody else exercise his demons for him.
Because he's not mentally strong.
Yeah.
Just like we see that again here. He allows Ben to completely manipulate him out of the cell, upstairs, into his own home, untie him, give him linens, and join everybody for dinner.
Yep.
And Ben didn't really have to work that hard for it.
No, he really didn't. He never has with John. Mm-hmm. Ben has had John's number since the moment Ben was Henry Gale locked in that storage.
Yeah.
Locked in that closet in the hatch.
Of course he wanted to go off with Locke and not stay with Jack. Jack was like, no, fuck you. You're staying with me. I don't believe anything you say. You don't get to talk. Whereas Locke, he knows exactly where to go to get what he needs from Locke. He didn't have that with Jack.
And the real curious part about Ben, and I don't even think it's curious, I think it's brilliance, is that Ben has total control over John. He has a handle on the situation. He knows exactly what's going to happen before it even happens. Until something happens later this season that Ben didn't expect. And then we see a switch flip in Ben when he realizes he doesn't have total control. And I'm talking about the Kimi and Alex moment.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It's that moment where he says, go ahead. I never cared about it. She's not really my daughter. and Kimi pulls the trigger, and there's that look on Ben's face. I know it's a spoiler, but there's that look on Ben's face of like, that was not supposed to happen.
And that's the last words that she heard.
Yeah. And that's the moment we see the switch flip in Ben. Up until that point, because that was the moment he realized he lost control. But now we're still seeing a fully confident Ben who has complete control of the situation, who knows what's going to happen. But I think then this is the point I was trying to make. The brilliance of it is that he's not lying. He's not lying about anything. He just knows how to manipulate the truth to show it in a way to gain control. He's not lying about Whitmore being the person on the freight. He's on the freighter. He's not lying about the reason that he doesn't know how Whitmore knows about this island. He's not lying about anything. And that's the brilliance of Ben.
I love it that he's like, Locke's like, why are you showing me this? He goes, this is my last card to play, man. This is it. This is all I got.
Ben is, you're right. Ben is showing all his cards, and like, he's got nothing up his sleeve. He's showing his entire hand. He just knows how to play it.
Yeah. Well, there's something a little sociopathic about that.
There absolutely is. Absolutely there is.
I mean, he's off the reservation 100%. As much control as he's in, it's like that scary Tom Cruise from Collateral control. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just this guy that's just, I don't know. You just never know what he's going to do. And he's so calm. Like, okay, let's actually get into this episode real quick, because
I think we've been into this episode.
We have, but I mean the Juliet, the flashback.
Yeah, we haven't talked about any of the Juliet part.
So, because this is very fascinating episode to me. I love Juliet. I love learning about her. I love it that we got to care about Goodwin. We saw the other side of that story. And I think that that's great. But Ben, let's just talk about Ben for a second, and the fact that he thinks that Juliet is his property, and he spends the entire time trying to regain control of that situation. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you think that, okay, so when Goodwin and Juliet were on the beach, and Goodwin was like, let's say something, let's just be open about this or whatever. And then the plane crash happened, in like the next scene or two scenes later, something like that. And he says, Goodwin, you go here, blah, blah, blah. I feel like we're missing a scene there. Do you think that they announced that they were together?
I don't think they announced that they were together. I think Ben was onto it, and he legitimately sent Goodwin to his death.
Well, I mean, he said that he did. He said that he did that. And
but
that was cruel. That was cruel, taking her to his dead body.
But here's the other thing, though. Did he send Goodwin to his death, or did he just use that to his advantage to control Juliet further? So
that's the other thing. The dinner party, when she showed up with the rolls, and he was like full of energy and really happy and everything was great. Do you think he knew that Goodwin was dead? I think he knew. I think he discovered he had a card to play when it was time to play it. So I think he knew at that point that Goodwin was dead, and that an obstacle that was in his way is now out of his way. Because that right there, the celebration and the lightness in his step and the music and the this and the that right there was the craziest he's ever been. That is lunacy. You talk about sociopathic. Like that's an absolute sociopathic moment for Ben. But I think, when it comes to sending Goodwin to the tail section, my impression of that is Goodwin was in his way to Juliet. If he got rid of Goodwin or sent Goodwin off,
he had time to work on Juliet without Goodwin there. Goodwin's death was just a bonus. I think Goodwin was completely collateral damage. Like, he was expendable when he sent Goodwin to the tail section. But
and
I think
that seems weird too, because Goodwin seemed to be the guy that had a control on the chemicals of the island.
True. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's short-sighted as well. That's Ben trying to regain his status quo, regain his power, regain his property, if you will, just like Locke is trying to do right now. So maybe the connection there is that we're seeing Ben kind of scramble the same way that Locke is scrambling in this situation, which is why Ben can notice the signs.
But I think it's also interesting too, that how they shot it. How they shot that scene, they actually had to reshoot a couple moments from that scene of the tail side of the plane crash, because they needed to add Harper to that scene. Because there is the conversation that Juliet and Harper are having when Harper confronts Juliet for sleeping with Goodwin, who Goodwin is her husband, is Harper's husband, and she tells Juliet, like, I'm not worried about this situation. I'm worried about Goodwin. I'm worried about how Ben is going to react to this, because everybody knows at this point that Ben is infatuated with Juliet.
Yeah.
So she's more worried about what Ben is going to do to Goodwin than her own marriage.
Well, and I think that judging by what Goodwin said about how he had been sleeping on the couch for a year, I think that goes to prove that they're both acknowledging that their marriage was over, and they probably kept up the sham, or Harper kept up the sham to protect Goodwin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, they had to add her into that scene, because when you see Goodwin listening to Ben about going off to the tail section report, they had that moment where Harper walked up from behind and looks at Juliet. And it's that look that it's so quick, but it's in that look where where Harper looks at Juliet, and she says, like, she's literally saying in a split second, this is what I meant. Harper knows at that moment there's a chance Goodwin might not be coming back.
Yeah. Well, and I think that once Ethan showed up dead, maybe you should have pulled Goodwin at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe. If you cared about your people at all, Ben.
But again, I think because of his infatuation with Juliet, and that goes to further your point too about how you sent off Goodwin, who is trained in how to use these chemicals. You sent off Ethan, who was one of your doctors.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, Ben's learned a lot since in the last 90 days.
But as somebody who's been in that same situation, not that extreme of a situation, obviously, where I would send somebody to their death, but somebody who's been infatuated with somebody before, you're also not thinking clearly when you're under that infatuation. So it's very easy to misjudge your decisions and send your doctor and send your chemical specialist because they're obstacles in your way.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do that and not think about it. But also at the same time, Ben doesn't have any regrets about doing it. And that's what makes him like that.
No, he tap danced on Goodwin's grave.
Yes. I mean, and not only is that a sociopathic moment when he takes Juliet to see Goodwin, you think about this, that means he's already been there to visit Goodwin.
Yeah.
Because he knew where he was.
Yeah.
So Ben was already there.
Which is why I think he was dancing and celebrating at the 2-person dinner party.
Yeah, I think so too. I think at that moment he knew that this obstacle was out of his way.
Ugh. Ben is a piece of work, man.
He is, but it's just I've mentioned it before. He is one of my favorite characters from this series.
Oh, he's a brilliant character. However, it's also, I mean, he's just a lot.
He's diabolical.
Mm-hmm.
And that is I don't think that's a word we've used yet to describe him, but it's absolutely true.
No, but
he
it's
is
true.
Diabolical. He is a genius who is well aware of the situation he is in, who hides none of his cards, plays everything out in the open, and still wins.
Right.
You know, I mean, that is, if you were a poker player and played that way, you would win. You would be a champion poker player.
Yeah, that's what he should have done. But instead, he just decided to be punched in the face a lot and run an island with, different stages of bruises and black eyes and cuts healing on his face.
I think while we're talking about Juliet too, one of the other things that we need to not really discuss, but kind of bring up is we get a little bit more insight into part of the reason why women cannot carry to term on this island. We find out through Juliet's research that it's something that attacks the immune system during, I think, the second term of the pregnancy, and it attacks the fetus. And that in return causes the woman carrying to lose their life. But she hasn't yet recovered or discovered what causes this attack.
I don't think that's ever
I don't think
resolved.
It is. I don't think that's ever revealed. Because her research has kind of been interrupted at this point by a plane crash and a bunch of survivors. They kind of changed the game.
And an egomaniac at the helm.
Yes. Well, that could be that sentence, that phrase, an egomaniac at the helm, could refer to a number of people.
Yes.
At this point.
Yes. That I said it on purpose.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
My favorite Juliet line, I just laughed out loud, was when they're like, "Oh, who was that woman?" "That was my therapist." "Do you have a therapist?" "It's very stressful being an other, Jack."
Yes. What's funny too is we talk about this in past episodes. There's always something correlating the title of the episode to the story that's being told. And I think there's maybe only been once or twice we haven't been able to piece it together with
this one's very obvious.
This one's very obvious in multiple ways.
Yes.
You talk about the title as the other woman. Juliet is the other woman when it comes to Harper and Goodwin. Mm-hmm. She's the other woman as in she's an other. Mm-hmm. And she's a woman with them. I know there are other instances too. I think there's at least one or two other ones.
She's also the other woman with Jack and Kate.
That's right.
She's also the other woman when it comes to Ben, because Harper references the fact that Juliet looks a lot like her.
That's right. And is that ever revealed who they're talking
about?
If
it is, I've forgotten about it.
Me too. Yeah. So I think
poor Juliet, always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Well,
yeah, I know. It's coming.
But no,
the wheel has to turn.
No, I was just thinking, I actually just watched something over the course of the past couple of days that she is the bride. She's Mrs. Claus in the Santa Claus 2.
Oh, she's the perfect Mrs. Claus. She would also make a really good Glinda the Good Witch.
Have you ever seen the Santa Claus 2?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I've seen all the Santa Clauses.
She's the one that
I have kids.
I know. She's the one that marries Tim Allen.
Yeah.
She becomes Mrs. Claus.
I have. We've watched all the Christmas movies, all of them. We've watched Home Alone at least 3 times, and it's not going to be the last before this is over.
I just started my Christmas movie viewing. Anyway, before we get way off track, I mentioned they didn't have a number on their back, did they?
I love that. Why?
That was so
I like it that Locke is like, why? It's like, did you eat paint chips as a kid? Why?
Why? I want to talk about The Tempest.
I don't know The Tempest at all. I know that it's a big reference in this episode, but I don't.
Well, no, isn't that the name of the facility where the chemicals are?
Oh, I was talking about the Shakespeare.
No. I don't know what the reference is to that either. I'm talking about the actual facility.
I feel bad not knowing because I love literature. I love plays. I should know The Tempest.
But we there's those big moments where we have Daniel and Charlotte are on their way. They've
Charlotte fights dirty.
Yes, she does. Twice she attempts to use the butt of a gun or use something to hit somebody over the back of their head. One time she's successful with Kate.
She was prepared to kill Juliet.
But Juliet is a badass in herself.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Juliet is a badass in herself. But there's something really I'm questioning with this situation. Okay. When we get the whole journey following Charlotte and Faraday to the Tempest, which is the chemical facility, which Juliet knows. Juliet goes to attempt to stop them, but discovers they are there to stop it themselves. So this process has already been started before Faraday and Charlotte get there. If this process was already started, it brings up a very interesting question about Ben and the power and the handle on the situation that he has. This chemical release, we know, is what caused the purge the first time when Ben cleared the Dharma Initiative out and took over.
Cleared it out.
If that is the case, is Ben expendable to the rest of the others? Because he was at the camp where that chemical was going to hit again had this gone off. Is Ben not in as much of control as he thinks he is because his own people were willing to let him die? Or was he aware of it and he was confident it would be shut down?
That's a great question. I don't know, because I know that when he was left. He was left by his people. And
he even admits it. If my people wanted me back, they would have stormed this place already to get me.
Yeah. And Richard Alpert seemed pretty horrified by him the last time we saw them all together. I don't think that they really appreciated what he did to John Locke. And they probably knew that he shot him and left him in a ditch. I don't know. That's a good question.
That's what I mean. It brings up, I don't know, because there are multiple scenarios that can play out here. Like the others started this going. Mm-hmm. The people from the freighter are the ones that stopped it, which means that Ben was expendable to the others. Was Ben confident when he said that they could have stormed this place to come and get me? Maybe he knew they would attempt to kill him, but he was confident the chemical reaction would be stopped, which is why he was so confident. Or that confidence is false, and he had no idea that chemical process was even started again. And he was that close to dying and not even realizing it. I don't know.
I don't know.
It made me very curious when I was watching that whole thing play out. Like, okay, wait a minute. What does that mean for Ben and his control?
Huh. Well, I mean, everybody went to the temple, didn't they?
No, the temple doesn't come into play until next.
I thought that they said that I thought that Richard said something about the fact that
you're right. You're right. Okay. The temple has been mentioned already at this point. That's why it's confusing when you mention the Tempest. That's where you confuse Tempest and Temple a little bit.
I did not.
No, I know. I'm saying you could. You could confuse them.
I did not.
I did not. I'm trying to see if there is any comparison to the Tempest. Oh, so let's see. Cultural references. The Tempest. The name of the Dharma station is the same as the title of William Shakespeare's play, first published in 1623. It tells the story of the sorcerer Prospero and his daughter Miranda, who are stranded on a mysterious desert island that has mystical properties. Prospero raises a storm or tempest, which causes a passing ship containing his enemies to run aground. Could be the Black Rock. Using magic, spirits, and a man-beast creature called the Caliban, he separates and manipulates the survivors of the wreck for his own purposes. The play ends with Prospero restored to his former glory. There's a lot of comparisons there to what's actually happening.
Yeah. It's also something that I'd like to read. Magic, spirits.
I've read The Tempest, but I haven't read it since like early high school.
Since someone forced you to read it?
Yeah, pretty much. Since I was forced in high school to read it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That might be something worth going back and revisiting, like now that with an actual interest in it.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I'd love to get I'm sure it's out there. I just have to look for it, but I would love to get a literature references list for Lost. Just something that I can kind of check off, because there's a lot of really great
check off another
author. Yeah. I heard it. I ignored it. Because 2021 is about to start, and I always like having reading goals.
Yeah, I will have to look and see, and if there's anything out there, we'll have to post it to the Facebook page or something too, if anybody else is interested.
We'll start a book club
and checking it. Ooh, a Lost book club.
Yeah,
and all the references are literary references in Lost.
And we're going to start with Carrie.
I'm fine with that.
Was it Cujo or was it Carrie that they were reading in their book club when the plane crashed?
I think it's Carrie. I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Carrie. So, I think, well, I mean, with the exception of, let's see. So we talked about Daniel stopping the gas, Charlotte being a badass fighter as well as Juliet. That moment with Ben taking Juliet to see Goodwin and just telling her you're mine, is the moment it all kind of comes out. And then that's kind of when we get that moment with Jack and Juliet at the end where, Juliet says to Jack, he's not going to let me go.
Because he thinks that I'm his. I belong to him.
Yes. So.
And then Jack's like, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, dude.
All right.
I happen to know you're going to go on a helicopter that she's not on, but whatever.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that just about covers everything I had for this episode. I don't know if you have anything else.
Nope.
No,
that was way more than I thought we were going to talk about this episode.
You and me both. That was we did a pretty deep dive into Control. Yeah. And, with John Locke and Ben, and I think rightfully so. This is a Juliet episode, but it is, as we mentioned at the top of the podcast, it is a very heavy Ben episode as well.
Yeah. I do want to say though, I love Elizabeth Mitchell so much. I love her. And if anybody ever saw Revolution, she was in Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed that show. 2 seasons was not enough for that show. I wish that they would have given that show more time because it was really, really good.
I think it's a safe bet at this point too. We talked about Torrin last season, and especially when we first meet Juliet, that they play very well on the balancing act of making you wonder, is she good? Is she bad?
Yeah.
I think by this point in the series, we're confident. We know Juliet's 100%. A good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Juliet's a good guy at this point.
I really like her.
So, but yeah, that just about covers everything I have too. If you're covered as well,
I'm good.
So that means next episode of the podcast, we will be covering Ji-yeon, which I believe is Sun's Oceanic 6 episode. I think it's revealed I think this is the one where it's revealed that Sun is one of the Oceanic 6. Yeah. Is the last of the Oceanic 6 at this point. So,
yes.
Okay. Cool. So we have some feedback this week. And before we get to that, we want to let you guys know how you can leave us feedback in the future, whether it's for this episode, a future episode, or anything we've even talked about in the past. Just you can leave us feedback in multiple ways. First, we are on Facebook at facebook.com/Lost Revisited.
We are on Twitter at Lost Revisit Pod, and we are on Instagram at Lost Revisited Pod.
You can email us at lostrevisitedpod@gmail.com.
And if you want to leave us a message, you can record yourself and send it to our email address.
Just, I don't know why you just said that in such a way that I was just like, that was so pleasant. So we have an email feedback. Somebody sent us an email feedback. And it's a new list. Well, I don't know if she's a new listener. I think she's been a listener for a while, but this is the first time she's leaving feedback. So I'm excited about that.
Yay.
And of course, we have a voicemail from our buddy Steve Brown. Which one do you want to start with? Do you want to read the email first, or do you want to play Steve Brown's voicemail?
I don't care.
All right. How about we play Steve Brown's voicemail first, and then we'll get to our new listener feedback.
Sounds good.
All right, so here it is, our voicemail from our buddy Steve Brown.
His name was Goodwin. That's my best Echo impression. Hey, Ben and Kristen, it's Steve. I'm watching The Other Woman for the second time now, and I'm going to send in some thoughts. This episode is like, it's like they're reminding us that Ben is an evil son of a bitch. Like we had some few episodes where we've kind of sympathized with him, we've kind of sided with him, and then suddenly they remind us, wait, don't forget that he's also super evil. So I had forgotten that Roth did an episode. This is the only episode we see her in. I don't remember, I have to admit, I don't remember the fate of these other characters. I don't know if she's actually alive or if she's the smoke monster. I think, are we meant to... Yeah, is she the smoke monster? Because we get the whole whispering thing when they meet in the woods, and so and we never see her again. So maybe she is this. I don't know. I'm loving watching this show now because there's so much stuff that I don't remember and that I am being surprised about and am excited to see how it plays out in the future. And I can't wait to hear you guys talk about this one and see, where it goes or where it was or where it's going to be. Next episode is a Jen and Son episode, which I'm so excited to see because I don't remember all that happened here. So, all right, talk to you later.
Thanks, Steve.
So I had the same thoughts of whether or not she was the smoke monster, but then Jack comes out and is like, who is she? And I'm like, okay, they both see him.
Yeah, they both saw Harper. I think she's very much alive. I think she's with the others no matter where they're at, and she's just somebody who's following along. She's doing what she's asked to do, whether it's by Ben or by Richard or whoever.
I'd love it if somebody ever did like a parody of a scene like that where they have all the people in the bushes going, okay, here we go. Ready? Okay, now move in and out of the shot. Okay.
You know what's funny is that you say that is I kind of had a similar thought is that I want to see the camera from a different point of view where when Jack and Juliet look away, you just see the actress that plays Harper just kind of drop into the grass and crawl away.
She crawls away like Gina Linetti does, like when she tries to disappear. Yes. Yeah. And then like, we can see you. Yeah, we can totally see you. I think that would be funny.
It's like if this is another Shakespeare reference, but I don't know if you've ever seen Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead.
No.
Which is basically there are two background characters in Hamlet called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead is a movie. I believe it was a book first, but it's also a movie because Richard Dreyfuss plays one of the characters. It's the story of Hamlet, but as told from these two background characters where they see all this other stuff that happens. in the background that you never see when you're reading Hamlet. And it's actually
what a great fresh take.
Well, The Lion King did it too. The Lion King did The Lion King, which is basically Disney's version of Hamlet. And then they did Lion King 2, but they also did Lion King 1.5, which was The Lion King as told by Timon and Pumbaa.
Oh, yeah. I've seen
that. And that was basically Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
That's awesome.
But that's what it would be. It would be like one of these side characters, like looking like, I can see you crawling away.
No, you can't.
Look away. You see nothing.
Whisper, can't be.
So thanks, Steve, for that voicemail. And I'm looking forward to next week too, because I really don't remember a lot of it. I really don't. But that leaves us to our second piece of feedback from listener
It's
Kayla.
a new listener. Yeah,
And,
her name is Kyla G.
Kyla,
from Florida. And she says, she sent us an email that says, "Hello, Ben and Kristen. I hope this email finds you in time for the episode." It did. I'm a more recent listener and have been considering leaving feedback as I get closer to your more current releases. Before the feedback about the episode, I'd like to say that I find so much joy in listening to this podcast. Aww.
Yay.
I've watched Lost several times and I started listening for the lark, but now I am rewatching with you guys and it's nice to hear people talking about it 15 plus years later. Thank you guys so much for giving a source of discussion for this show. I love when you reflect on watching it while it was televised, as I was too young at the time to live vicariously through those anecdotes. Ooh, I feel old.
Yeah, me too.
Here is my extremely condensed feedback on The Other Woman. This episode gives us some good old season 1 format flashbacks, perfectly placed for the pacing of the episode. Agreed. This episode has multiple meanings of the title. She's Jack's other woman, Goodwin's other woman, and also the other woman because she's another. If you wanted to get deeper, she's the other woman in The Tempest, apart from Charlotte, and Harper suggests that she's Ben's other woman. Interesting. Very good. When you think about her future in the show, I'd say she forgoes the role as the other woman. She is the only one who can really tackle the pregnancy problems on the island. She is the one who really reels Sawyer into some semblance of real life. And as we know, she is truly the cause of the incident. As much as we blame Jack for the incident, all we can really do is blame him for Juliet's death, which is way worse in my book. Ooh, Kyla, I love you. The episode focuses on The Tempest, where Goodwin got his chemical burn and complained about working where he could kill everyone on the island by accident, which Ben did once on purpose. Jack isn't the worst for once. This episode proves that Ben is truly the worst. I mean, what kind of a sociopath takes someone to a dead body of a loved one for the emotional shock value? Heard. This is Ben's worst episode in both the flashbacks and present day. He is absolutely conniving, especially with John. I found in the trivia on Lostpedia that this episode took place on Christmas 2004. Ever gotten knocked unconscious in the middle of a jungle on Christmas? Kate has.
Merry Christmas, Kate.
I hope this wasn't too long. Thank you for doing this podcast. Gets me thinking again like the first time watching. Health and happiness, Kyla G. Listening from Florida. Thank you, Kyla.
That was awesome.
Wonderful.
Kyla, please keep continuing to leave feedback like that. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved that. Thank you so much. That was fun.
That was fantastic. And you're right. She's absolutely right too. Like there are moments where like Juliet might be the other woman in this, but Kyla's actually absolutely right. Later on, she becomes the only woman.
Yeah.
You know, and she put a good point on it too when she says she's the only one who can kind of bring Sawyer into a semblance of real life. Because she domesticates Sawyer.
Yeah, she does. She domesticates him. I was going to say provided stability for him, but yeah, domesticates. Yeah. He went from feral to kind of husband, life
she
partner.
Absolutely domesticates Sawyer.
Yeah, that's so
and
funny.
It's great. It's fantastic.
I love him. I love Sawyer. I know, it's a big surprise.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? Again, I've talked about this before too. Like in doing this podcast and diving deeper into these episodes than I ever have, I've learned to appreciate some of these characters more than I ever have.
Yeah.
Sawyer being one of them. I was always a fan of Sawyer, but like he was maybe number like 4 or 5 or 6 on my list of favorite characters. He has since bumped up to maybe like 2 or 3, and he's moved up a couple notches on my list.
Well, I probably had something to do with that because I will sing his praises off the top of a mountain.
And I know it doesn't sound great for me to say it during this episode because, as Kyla mentioned, this is one of the worst episodes for Ben. He is absolutely diabolical. There's no semblance of redemption in him in this episode. He is still my favorite character of the series.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, Kyla touches on it, and we talk a lot about it in this episode, is that, you know, when you're a sociopath, you don't just all of a sudden grow out of that, you know? So at what point do you say how much of it was an act and how much of it was true? All the way down to, did I do a good job when she said, when he asked Hurley, you know, because he wanted to go into the church. Yeah. So, you know, you have to kind of second guess that, and you have to kind of look at that with eyes as somebody who was his back up against a wall. Was he a sociopath? Was he, you know, this narcissistic? I don't know. I really don't. So it's something to pay attention to in the last couple of seasons here.
And at the same time, too, you know, Ben is a character who, up until this point of the series, has never lost. Mm-hmm. And like, he's never lost any game that he's played. It takes him losing for him to realize he's not always going to win. And when he loses big.
Yeah.
In this series. You know, he loses incredibly big in this season, and it's a shock to his system.
Yeah.
And it's from that point on, we start to see a change in Ben that I actually really enjoy Ben by the end of the series. He still definitely has those moments where he's diabolical, but he is he again, like Jack, is I think, in my opinion, a completely different character by the end of the series.
Well, I would agree with that. I mean, I think that there's very few characters who are the same at the end.
Yeah. And Ben's transformation happens in such a shorter time than Jack. Because Jack gets 6 seasons to change. Ben only really gets, if you talk about this episode probably being his lowest point, has maybe 2 shortened seasons left to make that change.
Well, you know.
But, you know, it is what it is. But thank you again to Stephen and Kyla for leaving that feedback. And definitely continue to do it, please. We love reading feedback like that.
That was fun.
Yeah. So before we get ready to wrap this up, we are at that point where we usually leave recommendations for our listeners for other stuff that we kind of want them to check out, especially this year. Like we said, it's been a kind of shitty year. So anytime we can kind of recommend other stuff to escape from the year is always good, in my opinion. Anything new that you're reading or watching, or
I'm rereading Harry Potter. I started on November 1st, and with the intention of reading all 7 books by the end of the year, and I just started the 5th book last night.
So you're on track.
So I'm on track. Yeah. Well, the 5th book is 870 pages. So I got through 200 pages last night, and I was just like, okay, I feel like this is manageable now, because I started to get a little nervous. So that's been actually a really great escape for me. You know, like so many people, like millions of people, you know, we've had a really rough year. Thankfully, you know, my husband and I, we still have our jobs, and we still have our health, but, you know, it's been a tough year, mentally, emotionally, family-wise, friends-wise. It's just been a hard year. So Harry Potter has really provided this really nice escape lately. Also, I don't know if I said this in the last episode or not. We just finished The Queen's Gambit, and it's incredible. I truly believe it's one of the most perfect things that Netflix has ever put out. And I truly hope they never do another season. I hope they leave it as it is, as a mini series. It's perfect. It's wonderful.
It's about chess, right?
Yeah, it's about chess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because well, no, that's not. I don't laugh at that because I think if you look at movies like Finding Bobby Fischer and like it's very compelling when you look at some of the stuff that goes into that. I hear Queen's Gambit and I immediately think Oliver Queen from Arrow because that was the ship he was on in the pilot episode that goes down.
Well, it's a chess move. The Queen's Gambit is a chess move.
Okay.
And you learn that watching chess. Watching the Queen's Gambit, but you just have to watch it. It's an incredible story. I just learned yesterday it was a book, so I'm going to read it.
I do hear great things about the series.
If it doesn't win at least the acting awards, or the visual awards, it's visually stunning. I cannot say enough good things about this show, and I don't feel that I can even overhype it because everybody I've talked to is just like, it's perfect. It's perfect. I hope it's never, ever left alone. Like, don't expand on it. It's perfect. And then we started watching, when we were finished, we started watching The Crown. And so we're about halfway into the first season of The Crown. And that is really surprisingly good. Like, my husband kind of fought me a little bit on it. And I said, look, man, it's winning a ton of awards. John Lithgow is Winston Churchill. Like, let's just give it a shot. And 2 episodes in, he goes, well, I'm liking this a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Back up for 1 second. Lithgow is Churchill?
Yes, and he won all the awards when he played Churchill.
That's all I need to hear.
Oh, okay.
I love John Lithgow.
Oh, then you're going to love this.
I adore John Lithgow.
He is amazing in this.
It's so
he disappears into this character.
I watched an interview with him not too long ago, and the interview was maybe from a couple years ago, but he talks about, somebody asked him like if he ever goes back and rewatches his work. And I loved his answer because his answer was, I don't rewatch the drama because the drama is meant to just, be a portrayal of something. He's like, I rewatch episodes of Third Rock from the Sun constantly. He's like, because comedy, he's like, I love comedy. He's like, and comedy is subjective. He's like, to everybody. He's like, and when you find great comedy, you want to continue to rewatch it. And I think that's one of the reasons, like you and I, we constantly are rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, New Girl. Like we're friends. We're constantly rewatching series like that. And he said too, like, he's like, and one of the other reasons why I constantly rewatch Third Rock from the Sun is because he's like, that was probably, I've done so many movies and series. That's probably still to this day one of the highlights of my career. He's like, because I had so much fun making that series.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And I rewatched that series too. That series is still, I think to this day, and you can, anybody out there can fight me on this. As funny as some series are, like New Girl and such, I still think Third Rock from the Sun is one of the most brilliant comedic series out there still to this day. Because it's the comedy is just, it's just brilliant. Like, it's aliens who are learning Earth culture.
Yeah.
Like, and
in disguise.
I mean, and even Jane Curtin, like, not to go off on a tangent, but I also watched an episode with Jane Curtin, who plays the love interest to John Lithgow's character. And she said, like, after SNL, they offered her the role that she plays. Anytime you do a TV deal, you sign a 7-year contract. Even if the show doesn't go 7 years, you sign a 7-year contract. It's like a standard. Mm-hmm. And after she was on SNL for so long and they offered her the role, she was like, I really don't want to sign a 7-year contract. I don't want to commit to anything like that before. And they were like, well, why don't you just come out and shoot the pilot? And then if you're not happy with it, if we get picked up, you can we'll recast the role. So she went out, she shot the pilot. She had a great time. The pilot got picked up and she said how much fun she had doing it. And the producer's like, well, we'd love you to come back. You don't have to sign a contract. How many episodes do you want to do? And she said, well, I'll do 7 episodes. So they wrote the first 7 episodes with her, intending for her to leave at the end of that 7th episode.
Oh, wow.
And at the end of that 7th episode, she went to the producer and was like, I don't want to leave. Like, this show is so much fun. I don't want to leave. And the producer looked at her and said, yeah, we had a feeling the contract is ready for you to sign.
Oh, good.
And that's why Jane Curtin ended up staying with the entire run of the series.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I love stories like that.
Yeah. But
How about you?
John Lithgow is brilliant. I might watch The Crown purely for John Lithgow. I mentioned it earlier on. I am, forgive my language, fucking loving Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I told you.
I'm disappointed I didn't start watching it earlier, but also I'm not, because now I can kind of continue
burn through it.
Yep. I can just burn through it. I'm in season 5 right now. I legit watched season 3 in one sitting. The show is hysterical. It's sweet. It's just I totally understand why it swept at the Emmys. It won every award it was nominated for, and I completely understand that now.
It's so good.
The show is just, it's a masterpiece. Dan Levy can write his own check at this point in Hollywood.
Yes.
He can pretty much, anything he writes, everybody will want to look at it.
Yep.
He is he's
out of his father's shadow.
I don't think he was ever in his father's shadow, to be honest.
But he can't say that he got jobs because, you know, his dad's in the business. Maybe he got opportunity, but he has his own specific separate talent.
True. And I will admit, before I watched season 1 and 2, and then I fell into a YouTube hole and I watched all the clips of the awards from the Emmys. Of them accepting their awards, because I was like, there's not going to be any spoilers in them. I just want to see them win all these Emmys. And I legit got choked up at how happy they were for winning for this series.
Well, they've been canceled. I think they were canceled and then like repicked up or something like that. Like they were they had like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine yo-yo.
But one of the things that really got me, one of the things that I absolutely loved about watching those clips is the pride that Eugene Levy has in
for his son. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Like I love the fact that Dan thinks his father is the most brilliant person on earth, but Eugene thinks that Dan is the most brilliant person on earth.
Yeah.
Like the pride and admiration they have for each other, you can tell every drop of that went into this series.
There's a third Levy.
The daughter, it's Twyla.
Twyla.
Yeah.
Hey, Twy.
Yeah,
hey,
Twyla from the series. And I love that she's a part of it.
Yeah. And she's hilarious in it too.
Yeah. But yeah, Schitt's Creek is just, I'm loving this series. I'm sad that it's almost over.
I can't wait to rewatch it. I'm rewatching it with Dave. I'm watching season 1 with him. And I'm also finishing the last like 3 or 4 episodes on my own. And it's so weird to go back and forth.
I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to rewatch it when it's over. On top of Schitt's Creek, I also want to say that every time I think it can't get any better, The Mandalorian just fucking outdoes itself.
It is so good.
I haven't watched today's episode yet.
No, me neither. No, we watch it as a family. Are you kidding me? My kids wake up on Friday. They go, "Is it Friday?" Yeah, it's Friday. And I'm like, the weekend's here. And both of them separately said, Mandalorian. And so Adam is just like, we're on the way to school today. And he goes, I just can't stop thinking about that tragedy.
God, I love Adam. I love your kids. Every time I think the show can't get any better, it does. And man, Disney went crazy yesterday between Star Wars announcements, Marvel announcements, and Willow, and just like Indiana Jones, the Bad Batch, Ahsoka, Tano, Obi-Wan.
If Sabine Wren isn't in there with her, I'm going to flip out.
Well, they did say that Ahsoka's spinoff is in the Mandalorian timeline. So
yeah, but in the Mandalorian timeline is the other timeline.
Yeah. So I'm.
Okay. So, excuse me for getting a little emotional here, but you've seen Rebels, right?
Oh yeah.
The way they leave Rebels is begging for an Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren spinoff. It's begging for it.
Well, I'm also kind of hoping at the same time we're gonna get because of this. I'm hoping we're gonna get Ezra.
If we don't get Ezra, I was hoping that Timothy Olyphant was going to be Ezra, to be honest.
No, but I liked the character that Timothy Olyphant played.
No, and I want him to come back.
I do too.
Okay, let's stop. Let's stop right now because I feel bad for anybody that hasn't watched any of this.
But I mean, with they've announced that they're not going to recast Chadwick Boseman, which I think is amazing news.
Oh, good.
It shouldn't have happened to be. It should never even be considered. He is Black Panther. Like there's nobody else that could play that role. But they've officially announced that they're not going to be recasting that role. They're still making a sequel, but they're not recasting. Captain Marvel 2 is happening. Fantastic Four is finally happening. And they can only go up with those movies.
I liked the first one.
I think the first one was good. It's not great, but it's good. But it can't be any worse than the last one they made.
It was good for the time period. I mean, Chris Evans and Jessica Alba. I mean, Jessica Alba at like the height of her fame. Now she just makes baby products.
But so I'm excited for what's coming from the Loki series. Looks amazing.
Well, of course it does.
Are we
going to see Hemsworth?
I don't know. It'd be great if we do.
I'd love to see another version of Thor.
Well, the What If series looks great, which is animated.
Okay, it's not the WandaVision.
No, WandaVision looks weird.
It looks like I'm sorry. I love those characters, but they could have done something different.
And the trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier looks fantastic too.
Oh, I didn't see it yet.
Yeah, there's a trailer.
when
I'll show it to you when we're done
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you when we're done. Yeah, there's a lot on the horizon for Star Wars and Disney and Marvel, and this podcast, like I think we've pretty much decided what the next series we're going to dive into when we're done Lost is going to be, and I think it's fitting. Shares a lot of characters and writers, so it's
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time, yeah. We still got 2 more seasons of Lost to get through, but we'll get through it. But yeah,
I'm having fun with the podcast. I love these later seasons.
I do too, especially considering, like I said, I don't remember a lot of them.
I know. We're like, did this happen? I don't know.
That's why it's been so much fun, is I'm kind of reminding myself of them. So I think that's it though. I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Any final notes? Any final notes from you on your end?
Stay home, guys. Have Thanksgiving at home. Stay home.
Well, Thanksgiving's over.
I mean, Christmas. Stay home for Christmas. All of you that didn't go anywhere for Thanksgiving, yesterday we had 3,000 people die in America. I'm sorry if that makes some of you uncomfortable. I'm sorry if that makes some of you angry, but 3,000 people died yesterday. That's the largest number we've had so far. Stay home for Christmas. Stay home for New Year's. I'd like to go out of my house again. I'd like to go and live life again.
Well, it's funny that you say stay home for Thanksgiving, because if we don't get our shit together, we're going to be going through this again for Thanksgiving in 2021.
Well, I'm hoping this vaccine is better. Makes everything good.
I am too. But I agree with you completely. Wear a mask. I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable. Fucking wear a mask.
Just wear the mask.
Wear a mask. It's look, even if the masks are useless, it's still what could be lost from wearing it. Like it's not doing you any harm. Wear a mask. Even if they don't work, you can brag about being right later. Like,
yeah, but not to mention, okay, but here's another thing. Who actually wants to go to their relative's house for Christmas. Who wants to do that? Nobody. Everybody feels an obligation. So just this is your 1 year that you can do whatever you want for Christmas.
You can get out of it
at home. You get out of it. You have a reason, and you can go and you can eat buttered popcorn on your couch and watch whatever Christmas movies you want to watch, or don't watch any Christmas movies and binge watch, Freddy Krueger movies for all I care. Just stay home. Order a bunch of takeout. Just stay home.
Oh, and on the note of takeout, I just want to say from a personal standpoint, as a DoorDasher, please tip your dashers. We know when you don't. It's one of the reasons why a lot of times your order will sit for a while before a driver picks it up. We know when you're not tipping, because we do see how much we're getting for the order. We know when there's no tip included. And I feel this way about dining out too, which you shouldn't be doing at this moment. And in some states, you're not able to anymore because restrictions are going up. But as a DoorDasher, or even just ordering pizza from a local place, if you can't afford to tip your DoorDasher or your delivery driver minimum $4 or $5, you should not be ordering out.
Yeah. And you know what? And this is in a season where a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people are living literally shift to shift a lot of times. I used to live that life. I used to live that restaurant life. And there's a subreddit that I invite everybody to go check out. It's Ask a Server or something like that. Shoot. Now I got to find it. But there's a post in there, a big thread where they're talking about customers that are actually the ones that are going into restaurants right now. And it's the people that are anti.
Yes.
Everything.
I read that article.
And it's awful. It's awful. The service industry is getting dumped on by hateful people, by angry people, by people that have just nowhere to put their frustrations out. They're getting ridiculed for wearing masks on their shift. They're getting yelled at. They're getting put down. They're not getting tipped for wearing masks. I mean, it's pretty bad.
I mean, and to go off on the delivery drivers again too, like door dashing and things like that. Like, I understand, like, I've legit picked up like $100 sushi orders where they've tipped me $2. Like, if you can afford $120 in sushi, you can afford to throw me $5, $10 as a tip, for driving the 7 miles to bring it to you so that you don't have to leave. I put myself at risk to go out to do that. Mm-hmm. And not every person, don't assume that just because somebody's a delivery driver that like they're being lazy and cavalier with their life. There are DoorDash drivers out there who are doing it because they lost their job due to COVID. Mm-hmm. And this is the only job they can get to support their family. So please take care of them. If you're going to order out, take care of your driver. I'm just asking that, please. So I'm gonna end it at that before we go off on like another hour-long rant about this. Masks,
I don't mean to be negative. I don't mean to be, anything other than just I'm tired of being inside, and I stay inside because there's so many people that refuse to take what we've been going through this year seriously. And I have a son who is at a high risk. And if he were to get the virus, it would be very serious for our family. And, we've discussed how it would be for you as well, Ben. And when that hits home like that, as a mom, as a parent, you're going to feel a little crazy. You're going to feel a lot crazy. You'll do most parents will do anything to protect their kids. And, that's kind of where I'm at this point. So I say it with anger, but I'm angry because I'm so frustrated, and I'm really just trying to look out for my kid. I'm trying to look out for people who can't look out for their own kids. And also, as the hospitals fill up, people that need the hospital for other reasons, they can't get seen. They don't get it. Yeah. They can't get seen. One of us had to get go to the doctor for some reason that you go to the doctor. I forget what it is. And they're like, oh no, we're not seeing anybody. We can't. And that's awful.
Well, I mean, you think about the domino effect. You don't wear a mask. You go out. You end up picking up COVID. You may not show symptoms, but you end up picking it up. You become a carrier. You give it to 2 other people who will show symptoms. Yep. One of those 2 people ends up getting symptoms so bad, they now need to be submitted to the hospital and they use one of those beds. Meanwhile, the other person, somebody else in your family, gets into a car accident and they need to go to the hospital. Well, guess what? There's not a bed available for them because this person you gave COVID to is already using that bed. And
that right there is the problem.
Yes.
That right there is the problem.
Just because you are not showing symptoms or you got it and it didn't affect you doesn't mean it doesn't affect somebody else. And that's the selfishness and ignorance that there are people out there like showing. Anybody out there who is arguing, and I've posted this on my own Facebook page, governors are putting new restrictions into effect. Here in Pennsylvania, restaurants are closed for indoor dining again. It's takeout only starting tomorrow. And there are so many people out there blaming the governor. I understand the restaurant industry is hurting. Our government is part of the problem because they're not stepping up to help small business. Instead, they're taking care of large corporations. Yes, that is a problem. But these governors are not the ones that are part of the problem. They're doing it to keep their people safe at this point. It is not the governor's fault. It's the fault of the people who are not listening to the mandates. It's the same people that are saying mandates don't work that were the people that weren't listening to the mandates to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the ignorance and part of the problem. I feel bad that we kind of stepped on the soapbox, and I apologize to any listeners right now who may be on the other side of this or may feel differently. We're simply expressing how we feel about this. So if you feel turned off to this podcast because of it, I apologize. It's just, we're at the end of the year, a year that has been horrible for so many people. And if you take anything away from this, again, it's not hard to wear a mask. It's not hard to wear a mask properly.
It's also not hard to stay home for a holiday.
Yes, I agree with that.
I did it for Thanksgiving, and my family and I had the best Thanksgiving that we've had in years.
I too want to leave my house. I mean, I leave to DoorDash, but that's because I have to. I have to get my bills paid. I'm immunocompromised. I put myself at risk every time I go out to do it, but I do it because it needs to be done. But when I do it, I wear a mask and I socially distance. I use hand sanitizer constantly. I take care of myself. I protect myself because I take this seriously. If all of these things don't help, I feel personal satisfaction in knowing that maybe they do. And I have had scares where I've had to quarantine because I thought I had it. I get constant testing. I'm tested at least twice a month because for my own personal well-being, I get tested at least twice a month. I would have loved to have driven down and spent Thanksgiving with you guys.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But because of things in this country, I can't do it.
Yep.
I felt nervous even driving to. I spent Thanksgiving with a friend and their family, but I'm in their bubble. So and I was the only person from outside of that household that was there. And the only reason why I was invited and comfortable was because they know I wear a mask. They know I social distance. They know I get tested. So that's the reason why I was in their bubble. I felt nervous even doing that.
Yeah.
Knowing I was perfectly safe.
Mm-hmm.
I still felt nervous. And it's the people that are so nonchalant about this, thinking it's never going to happen to them, that are the problem.
Yeah.
So again, if you're one of those people, I apologize if we offended you. I don't apologize for saying what we say because this is what we believe.
Yeah.
I apologize if you're offended by it. So anyway, I think I'm going to... But
also watch The Queen's Gambit.
And Schitt's Creek, if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them.
And tune in next week where we won't talk about
yes
any of this anymore.
We'll try.
This is it. This is it. This is it. If you're still listening and you haven't turned this off in a huff, we're done.
We're getting it off our chest now.
Yeah.
So yeah, next episode, season 4, episode 7, Jiyeon, which is a Jin and Sun centric episode. But that's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode. Until next time, we'll see you guys further on down that rabbit hole. Take care.
Bye. You
have to go back, Kate. We have to go back!